Welcome friends to another r/malicious compliance video. As always, if you enjoy this video, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And our first story of the day is by Logic C. When I say no salt, I mean it. So this was well before COVID, so I might be fuzzy on the details, as this was back when I worked at a burger joint in the middle of a small city. A small one, but it gave me a chuckle, and I was reminded of it after reading an earlier post about someone falsely claiming a salt-free diet for a party. Some dude walks in with the most condescending look on his face as he looks around our establishment. We advertised as a place which catered to dietary needs, including vegetarian, vegan, organic, and religious diets. And this dude at least doesn't look like the type that such a place caters to, but I don't get paid to judge. He orders a typical burger, the joint's default, but with no salt on the patties. Not a problem, people have done this before. We easily prepare an unsalted double patty burger. This time, however, when he bites it, his face is a look of disgust. I say, "Is something wrong, sir?" They say, "There's way too much salt on this burger." I say, "That's strange. We didn't put any salt on your burger as you asked." They say, as if, when I say no salt, I mean it. I am on a no salt diet as per my doctor's orders. I say, "Oh really? Well, why didn't you say that to begin with? Let me just make a new burger for you." Cue malicious compliance. Our place had special policies the moment a medical history or specific diet was mentioned. 4 minutes later, handing him a lettuce-wrapped double patty with no pickles or bacon. The customer says, "The freak is this stuff? This isn't a burger." I say, "Actually, sir, it's a properly salt-free burger as you requested." The customer says, "But there's not even a bun." I say, "Our burger buns are made with salt." The customer, now studying the burger closely, "Where are the toppings I asked for?" I say, "Our bacon and pickles are both heavily salted. Since your salt-free request is a result of a dietary restriction, not just a request, we're obligated to remove any instances of the ingredient in question." "Don't worry, we didn't charge you for the bacon." The customer then bit into the burger, stating that it was terrible. Not just that the lettuce wrap was far inferior, but that the meat was tasteless. "Well, I'm sorry, sir, but not only did you ask for no salt, hence the tastelessness, you triggered our establishment's dietary policy by making a request based on a medical need." My manager had to explain to him that if he wanted a new burger, he would have to pay for it. Considering what all went down here, and the fact that they didn't know that pickles and bacon contained a lot of salt, do you think that this guy might have actually had the salt restriction, or do you think he was making it up? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Lemonist. Now the workplace kitchen is filthy. A little background, I work at a large company in the office which employs a lot of older people who are extremely stubborn to change and think that everything has to be done by someone else. There's a kitchen that all of the people in our department use, a common coffee machine, an electric kettle, etc. The upper management have been making a schedule for when each of us have to clean the kitchen. Of course, since a lot of the aforementioned people just decide that it's not a part of their job, they're not doing it, and since upper management doesn't enforce this, it gets quite bad fast. No common decency. I hate to use the coffee machine and the electric kettle for my tea when it's super dirty. Even the handles get sticky, which is extremely disgusting, so I take it upon myself to clean all of it from time to time since I arrive early every day. The electric kettle was full of flakes from limescale, so I brought a descaler from home. I hate to see flakes floating in my tea. I've done this for a while now, using it every so often. I like to use it when it's clean. Some of the older folks here saw me using the descaler and told the upper management that I'm bringing in an unknown chemical solution and using it on the food they use. "He's trying to kill the older generation," is a direct quote from what they told my boss. All of the upper management called me in immediately for me to explain myself and called office security. I told them that I'm just tidy, I hate dirty appliances, showed them the descaler, and all was good. From this point on, I'm no longer cleaning anything until it's my week according to the schedule. Now the older people are berating me that I'm not cleaning it anymore, stating that the kitchen is filthy and that I'm to blame. They once again complained to me about the upper management, that the chemicals I used caused flakes to appear in their drinks. Cleaning was never a part of my job description. I sent out the management-made schedule to the entire department, and every time someone complains, I forwarded it once again. including a CC to my superiors mentioning by name who's made a request and when was the last time they cleaned it themselves, as written in the company guidelines. The complainers got called in for causing office drama, which the management hates. They all got disciplinary warnings. They hate me and I have to bring coffee from home now. I'm not going to use the filthy kitchen ever again. Still feels like it was worth it. Man, some people in the older generation really think that younger people just have it out for them sometimes. Whether it's vaccines or, in this case, a harmless descaling agent. They're trying to kill me, I tell ya. Now, I don't know if this comes off in kind of the wrong way, don't get me wrong, but I feel like if somebody was purposely trying to poison somebody, they wouldn't be so blatantly obvious in how they did it. If OP was literally trying to kill people by poisoning, I don't think that they would make it ever so apparent. The conspiracy theories are off the charts in this one, and not only is it probably going to be dirty for a long while, but you're probably going to start getting ants pretty soon, judging by the way they take care of that stuff. Our next story is by DaisyNet911. No lesson today. I work as a swim instructor for wealthy families. I teach lessons in people's private backyard pools. I'm contracted through a company that sets up these lessons for me, and I'm obligated to follow their policies and standards for cancellations and safety. Today, as is the case with many summer days, it's had on and off thunderstorms. The majority of my lessons today have been canceled due to unsafe weather conditions. The weather policy is that if you hear thunder, you can't enter the pool for 30 minutes. Lightning means 45 minutes. Lessons can't be canceled until within an hour of the lesson due to weather, as things could always clear up. Today, I was sitting at home after having canceled my first 4 lessons due to weather. I was texting my next lesson, which was just under an hour away. I let the mom know that the weather radar was showing almost guaranteed large thunderstorms in her area for the entirety of the lesson time. I offered to delay the lesson by half an hour to see if the storm would pass. The mother, seeing nothing but a sunny day outside, rejected my offer and insisted we continue to have the lesson for her children. As I'm getting ready for the lesson, the mother tries to call me. I was away from my phone, but when I come back, I see I missed a text message. She sees a dark cloud getting closer, so she asked if we could delay the lesson by 15 minutes. I again remind her of our cancellation policy and that if I make it to her house and the lesson has to be canceled, she will still have to be charged for the full lesson. The mother insists she still wants the lesson because it's a beautiful sunny day and her children deserve to swim. I tell the mother that I'll be there shortly before the lesson. As I'm driving to her house, I'm immediately hit with a horrible torrential downpour. Thunder and lightning all around me, shaking my car. I drive through this for about 15 minutes before hitting clear skies right before arriving to the house. I again text the mother that if I get out of my car and hear thunder, the lesson will have to be canceled and she will have to be charged as I arrived for the lesson at her request. The mother opens her front door to let me in, telling me all she's heard is faint rumbling and the sky's still sunny so her children should swim. As I'm walking into her house, we hear a boom of thunder so loud, her whole house shakes. I then see lightning strike down probably about a mile away. I told the mother, I'm sorry, but these are unsafe conditions. I'm not going to put myself or your children at risk by getting in a pool of water during a thunderstorm. The mother proceeds to storm outside to the pool where her children are playing on the step to inform them that the main instructor won't teach them, so they have to get out of the pool. She then goes back inside to tell her friend who was hanging out with her that the instructor won't do it. I once again remind her of the weather policy and that it's non-negotiable. I also informed her that she will be charged for this lesson, as she insisted that we have it even at my hesitation for my safety. I then left as she mocked me to her friend. I got in my car and called my supervisor to let her know what had happened. Apparently, this was the final straw for this parent, as she commonly tempted to get previous swim instructors to also swim when there were unsafe weather conditions. She was blacklisted from our company and refunded the additional lessons she had paid for in advance. I'm sorry I wasn't willing to risk my life and my job so your children could swim. It's definitely one thing if it's overcast, maybe if it's faintly rumbly. But if OP's going over to their house and their house is literally shaking from the thunder and you can see lightning a mile away, I ain't getting in a pool of water, let alone for the job's sake. I think OP did everything right, both by the job's policy and just as far as common sense goes. Our next story is by Eraser Dust. Totally not an anti-vaxxer lady demanded a public apology. Someone commented on a post I posted saying what I did fits here. I was in this crazy parenting group that has a lot of parents with kooky opinions. Yes, there's loads of anti-vaxxers, tons of pseudoscience and distrust of medical professionals, self-styled essential oil experts dispensing dubious medical advice, etc. One lady had been non-stop posting all sorts of craziness trying to convince people vaccines, all, not just the COVID vaccine, are dangerous. I snapped and posted one of her messages to Instagram stories with the name and group name removed, so there's no way of identifying her, calling it the very definition of anti-vax. She recognized it, and even though Instagram stories disappear on their own in 24 hours, she insisted I remove it. It was already gone, and post a public apology addressed to the so-called lady that didn't vaccinate her kid that you called her anti-vax. So I posted on my Instagram this apology post. Dear all, I've been asked by the so-called lady that didn't vaccinate her kid that you called her anti-vax, whose message I posted in my Instagram stories yesterday to issue a public apology. Swipe to see request. I'm so sorry I incorrectly labeled her as anti-vax and will instead just include screenshots of her words so she can explain her position in her own words. And I posted not just the original message, but 2 other crazy anti-vax statements from her. The original IG story post only reached 1,697 people. The apology post reached 9,716 people and was full of comments of people telling her she's an anti-vax Karen. A TikTok video I made about that crazy mom group jumped from under 10,000 views to over 45,000 views after the apology. Not even getting into the ethics of the whole thing, it's funny to see how blatantly hypocritical this lady was. But OP did the right thing. Let her words speak for her own actions. Let people decide for themselves. This next story is by Sudachik. Friend can only bank overtime. His boss had quite a surprise when he retired early. A friend of mine worked for a big government department, but despite their bigness, they were understaffed and didn't pay overtime. However, you could bank that overtime to take time off, and you never lost that banked time if you didn't take it, say, within a year. So when he figured out he had 2 years worth of overtime, he waited until he was 2 years from retirement and took 2 years of vacation just before retiring. Well, by God, could you imagine being able to take 2 years off your job just collecting paychecks? And then following that up with, yeah, I retire. This guy had it set. And our final story of the day is by Circus Witch. My problem is now your problem. My best friend does park maintenance and habitat restoration in an urban park. She finds all sorts of wild stuff, including drugs, drug paraphernalia, and occasionally hypodermic needles. There used to be a city task force that would come collect them, but it was discontinued. My friend would pick them up and dispose of them as safely as possible to reduce risk for park users. Eventually, she decided to ask the building manager, not her supervisor but the person in charge of the facilities for the building she works out of, to install a sharps container in the bathroom, which park users have access to. He refused on the grounds that it would encourage drug use. Counter arguments to the point were unsuccessful, as was pointing out that not having a sharps container endangered her and the custodians who took out the trash. So, she started bringing the needles to him whenever she found one, and asking him to dispose of them. It only took about 5 needles before he installed a sharps container in the bathroom. This kind of gives me a sex ed vibe, in the sense that if you shut down or refuse to have any kind of sex ed, that doesn't mean people are going to have less time together, if you know what I mean. In fact, it often just drums up more. Now, I don't know if not having a sharps box would encourage more drug use, but it definitely doesn't help anybody not having it. And honestly, even if you do have people in these city parks doing whatever it is they're doing with needles or sharp things, at least if there's a sharps box and they use it, they're disposing of it reasonably. It's not ending up somewhere in the park for a janitor to find or for some innocent person to step on. But with that being said, that's a wrap on another bunch of stories here today. As always, if you guys have any favorite videos of this bunch, let me know which one in the comments down below and why. And if you enjoyed the stories in general, if you could subscribe to this channel, it'd mean a lot to me. I make these videos daily, and it's by far and away the best way to support my channel. So no matter what you did, whether it was subscribing or liking, leaving a comment, I just appreciate the heck out of you guys. And as always, I'll be back tomorrow with even more stories right here on the Storytime channel.